Hey, it's Barbara with Back Porch Confessions. I'm going to put in just a little short video to kind of back up the one that I just had with Angel. I'm sitting out on my porch. Hopefully there's not too much noise around us. But I will quit with the ums. I probably won't, but I'm going to try to quit with the ums. So in that video, I said a few things about my life and about my marriage, and I want people to understand that I'm truly coming from a place of healing. I love my husband and I love my mother. And I want other people to know that it's okay to have the hurt and it's okay to say it out loud. It's okay to own your own heart and your own failures in life. Um, it's not okay to tear people down, I guess is what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to do that in any type of way. I am not trying to tear down my husband. I'm not trying to tear down my mom. Things have happened. Life has happened. Marriages go through things. Mom and daughter relationships don't always work out to be the best. I have done a lot of growing in that. There was many years I didn't want to talk to my mom. Many years I couldn't. I was so very angry with her for taking me to foster care and dropping me off when I was 14. I that hurt a lot. I struggled already with feeling like she loved me, and then when she did that, it was complete abandonment. Um, she has her reasons for it. She said that she was, trying to deal with a lot of health issues, which I can be compassionate about because I have a lot of my own. Um, I know that I feel my way about it, and I'm sorry if you heard that. I forget that I have the microphone on. I know I feel my way about it, and she feels her way about it, and that's okay. It truly is okay. I will probably never choose to have a conversation with her about the things again, because I have come to a place of healing with it. Yes, I do still hurt. The hurt's just never going to go away. I'm not just going to be okay. One day I'm just going to wake up and go, oh, it's never happened and then all is good. And no, that's not the case. But I do know that I'm at a place in my life where I want her to have peace and I want me to have peace. And dredging these things up with her again, it's just not something I choose to do or not something I plan to ever do. Will it come up at some point? Will we ever have a conversation about it? Will we ever talk things through? I can't say we will, and I can't say we won't. It's not something that I'm going to purposely do. So that all being said, I want you to understand that when I do talk about these things, I'm talking about them from a place of peace. I will cry. It does hurt. It's going to hurt. I will talk about my dad some, and I will cry, and it hurts. But they're still both my parents, and I would not be here if it weren't for them. I would not be the strong person that I am had it not been for the trials and tribulations that I went through as a child, as a young adult, as now a middle-aged woman. I have a lot of traumas and baggage in my life, and there's been a lot for me to overcome. And then in all of that, because I've spent so much time, as Angel said, um, pushing it down and trying to ignore it, that now my health is kicking my tail over it, and I'm not faring well in that department because I've internalized so many things for so long that it literally has made me sick. So I'm trying to find a peace in many things so I can try to get less sick. I want to be able to live for my children. She also asked me if I fear death. No, I don't. Do I want to die? No. Have I tried to commit suicide? Yes, I have on 2 occasions. One time when I was younger, I took a bunch of pills, woke up, nothing. Evidently, I didn't take the right ones. That or God just had another plan for me, another route He wanted me to go. Then again, in 2012, when I went through a relationship change with someone that I had spent a couple of years with, he would break up with me, different things would happen. I kept letting him come back, all these things. There were a lot of red flags that I chose to ignore. There was a great deal of period where I was with him that I didn't care if he came or gone. You know, it was just somebody to hang out with. And then when we got to a point where we were actually just, you know, trying to commit a little more to one another, some things happened, some weird things happened, and things that made me go, And so I started questioning things, and, you know, God will make you see something. Even if you really don't want it to be there, God will make you see it eventually. It took me 2 years to see it, but I saw it. And then I found out that he'd been having a relationship with somebody else the entire 2 years that we had been off and on. And I felt like even though I didn't express this to people around me really, it put me in a spot that I felt I was no longer worthy being here. I no longer wanted to have people tear my heart out, stomp on it, spit on me, light it on fire, whatever. Um, I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I was so broken because everybody I'm with ends up leaving me. I keep getting abandoned over and over again. So my feeling from being a child of being there's something wrong with me. It's not that I necessarily felt not good enough, which I do in many things, but when you break it all the way down, and my therapist and I have done this, it really is that I feel like there's something wrong with me, that nobody can truly love me, nobody wants to stick around, nobody wants to respect me, nobody wants to do anything. Sorry, my dogs are trying to get out. They're being very hurtful toward me in many ways. Um, you know, my dad wasn't around much, popped in and out. I did watch him try to kill my mom. I blocked out many years of my life. And then when he did come around, and I was old enough to really understand what was going on, he was a Vietnam vet, and he was an alcoholic, and he would do things that were absolutely crazy, and things that I shouldn't have had to see at such a young age. And so there was a lot of traumas there with him, even though I did have the moment to talk to him, and I told him how I felt when I was younger. Um, did I get a healing from that? I did somewhat. I love my dad, and I know he got it right in the end with his stepchildren, and grandchildren. I know he loved me in his way as much as he could, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't make that it doesn't hurt, that I was never good enough for him to want to stick around or get out of foster care. And why didn't he do that? Why didn't he come get me when he knew I was in foster care? Why didn't he save me? Why did his baby brother, have to be the one, and his wife? Why did they have to be the ones to come and save me? Why didn't he? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he just didn't feel like he was good enough to be my dad. Um, I don't know. I have no answers to that because he's gone and I can't ask him. But at this point in my life at 52, I'm okay not knowing. I'm okay not knowing. I know that may sound crazy to some of you, but I really am okay not knowing. He's at peace. He no longer is in pain. He doesn't have to deal with the craziness that goes on in 2025 in this whole world, not just America, but the whole world. I'm okay with him being at peace. I hope that's where he is. I really truly pray that he is in that place of peace and no longer suffering. And so I kind of feel that way with the situation with my mom. She is here. I do keep her at a distance. I can tolerate small moments. Because I was very angry for many years. I couldn't even talk to my mother about the weather without getting totally pissed off at her. And that was in my teenage years. So, you know, it comes from a point of just knowing that you need to be okay for yourself. So 2012, I tried to commit suicide again. I didn't tell my children. I've never really told them this story. Uh, I've told a couple other people, just close friends. But I I preach about not committing suicide, that it's selfish and it's that and it's this, and because it is. Um, when you unalive yourself, hopefully they don't take this off because I said the S word, but you know, I went to a railroad track in Brown Summit and I watched the schedule to figure out when this train comes through all the time of an evening, nighttime, because I didn't want them to see me. So I I parked my vehicle at the dollar store by the tracks and I walked over to the track and I stood there and I waited and I waited and I waited. The blasted train never came. It, it just didn't come when it was supposed to come. That's when I knew that's when I knew that God needed me to do something else with my life. That's when I knew that I needed to get my shit together and I needed to find peace. Um, I tried to find peace off and on. I often get lost. Um, as I said, my picker's broke. It's a struggle. I'm trying to figure out how to hold that all together. I'm trying to figure out how to hold me together and keep my peace. I was meant to have a voice for you guys. I think in the process, I'm going to find some healing and I'm going to find some peace. I need you all to know that I do this out of the biggest part of my heart because I love everybody and I want you all to have peace. I want you all to know that you're not alone, that you're not hurting alone, that there are other people here that hurt too. Um, we all hurt in different ways and we all have healing that we need to go through. I don't know that this is going to reach a million people. I don't know that it's going to reach 500 people, but I do know it's going to reach the right people because I believe that my God is going to show you guys what it is that he wants and he's going to use me as his vessel to do so. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I want you to know that I'm always here. If anybody ever just needs to have someone listen, if you need to unload, if you need to express a pain or a difficulty that you're going through and you don't feel like you have somebody that you can trust that's not going to judge you, that's not going to raise an eyebrow at you like, I'm not here to judge anybody. I have made so many mistakes in my life. My biggest ones were the ones that hurt my children. And shutting down all my traumas in my life to the point that it makes my body revolt against me. Those are the two things that I wish I could tweak. But It wasn't in the plan. It wasn't in God's plan. This is, yes, I go rogue sometimes and I make my own choices, and then, I get slapped in the face with craziness, and I'm going, okay, well, that's not what he wanted me to do, because I done went off on my own and didn't listen to him and what he wanted. How many of you do that? Like, really? How often do you do that? How often do you decide that you don't want to actually listen to what's being told to you, and you filter out your own thought process of what you think he's trying to tell you? Because sometimes it's really confusing. I don't know what he's trying to say to me sometimes. And then I have to go, please tell me clearly what I'm supposed to be doing, because if I go by what's going on in my head and my heart, we're going to go this way. And every time I do that, it turns out to be a disaster, and I don't want it to be a disaster. I'm so tired of being disasters. I don't want anything to just be a ray anymore. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. So, okay, God, if you're going to tell us to do something, make it clear. No gray, black and white. Give it to me, because that's how I need it. Black and white. Give it to me in black and white, because I will totally fluff it up otherwise. Because I am one to just live, as my cousin Susie says, by the beat of my own drum. And I guess that makes me strong enough to be able to do this kind of thing, and just be open with you guys and let you know that there's a genuine me, there's a true me, and this is exactly who I am and what I'm about. So, yeah, I want you guys to know that you can reach out to me. You are not alone. There is nothing wrong with you. And there's a greater purpose for every single one of us. This is what mine is. I'm sure of it. It has been thrown in my face many a times of what I need to do, and that is to help other people. Eventually, I would like to go into life coaching or some type of therapy. I started to do that with a religious organization, but then it kind of came out that we couldn't have pastors in the church that were females. If I belonged to a church and there was a female pastor, that wasn't allowed. Okay, this goes against everything Barbara represents. And then I was read a little bit further into, and it said that I wasn't able to eventually teach people how to be Christian therapist. So that one went out the window. So now I'm in the process of trying to figure out what that looks like for me and how I can go about it without going through that program. Anyways, if I ever get there, I'll be sure to let you all know, and I will open up my doors for actual therapy purposes instead of just talking to you on a video camera. I want to be able to talk to you in person and help you work through your problems individually if that's what you need. And I would love to get there and do that at some point. So that all being said, thank you guys for listening to me. And I know this was just a short little one, but I just wanted you to know a little bit more information and a little bit more of where I come from on all of these topics. And yes, I have tried to commit suicide. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the semicolon that says you paused, but you stayed. I paused, but I stayed because God has another plan for me, and it was not to go out like that. Anyway, I know that's kind of gruesome, but it's the truth. It's my truth. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not going to hide behind anything. I'm not going to hide behind anyone. This is me, and this is what you get. Don't like it, scroll on. It's okay. You don't have to like me. But anyway, thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you later.